Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we're learning right now is that the Democratic Party is essentially losing the government shutdown. There is not a lot of avenues that they have left to keep on doing this. We even have the NZ director talking about this as well, that Democrats have pretty much been trying to use this shutdown and doing it until the No Kings protest has, essentially has been over, and there may be some signs to where it's actually ending. The fortune for the Democrats is that the ploy in their whole adventure has epically failed in every regard. It has not gone to the way that they thought it was going to go, and things are now rapidly losing pace here. So we have this here from Eric Dougherty, pretty much saying in a major turn of events, the White House is expecting that Democrats may cave on the shutdown and end it now that the No Kings weekend is over. So without further ado, let's get directly into this video.
Well, first of all, the president has been very active throughout this process, but it's also his position that this is a thing that the Senate needs to work out. A lot of our friends in the Senate have said that it was just bad optics for Democrats to open the government before the No Kings rally, and that now there's a shot that this week things will come together and very quickly the moderate Democrats will move forward and get us an open government, at which point we could negotiate whatever policies they want to negotiate with regular order. Now, I was very pleased to see that my friend Senator Shaheen from New Hampshire, a very sound-minded Democrat, came out and supported opening the government on Friday. So it means that there's sort of cracks in the Schumer armor. I think the Schumer shutdown is likely to end sometime this week. But I can tell you that if the story that we've been basically hearing from moderates that, look, we just can't do it in front of the No Kings rally, if that ends up not being true, then I think that the White House is going to have to look very closely, along with Russ Vought, at stronger measures that we could take to bring him to the table.
Yeah, so we have that. And this is not going to go well for Democrats at all. And the reason why it won't go well is because once people start realizing that that a lot of their food, a lot of their money, and everything is going to go out due to the Democrats not allowing them to open the government, is going to be a huge issue for them. It's not going to be great, and this is already starting to show after the No Kings protest and this guy coming out here and pretty much saying, the moderates are all like, yeah, it's not going well. There we might have to end this after the No Kings protest because we cannot survive this for very long, and it's not looking too great for them because once that November 1st, once that big November 1st hits, it's going to be really, really bad for the Democratic Party because they're doing this only for the aspect of trying to get back at Trump, trying to say that Trump is the one that's doing this and try to get political points of Trump trying to shut down the government, which is unfortunate for them because they don't seem to realize that you need around 60 votes, I think, for the Senate to even pass anything and to go through. So the Democrats are just not allowing this to happen because of the mere fact that they want their illegal immigrant money to go to them for health care, because that's what Democrats have advocated for a long time now. Now, on the flip side, it seems that we have this, where the Democrats are in trouble because it doesn't seem, like I said, they're not winning this. And it's shown here that the Republicans, or rather Trump, is winning this Democratic shutdown. And there is no end in sight in terms of how the Democrats are going to be able to pull out of this one, because the stats and everything says otherwise.
That's exactly right. Turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes to Donald Trump. Take a look here. We speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen. This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as Net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump, a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. You know, we talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, he wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, you know, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen. He's using executive orders. Trump executive orders at this point of presidency. In 2017, it was just 50. Look at this, already 210 executive orders signed by Donald Trump during this presidency. That is the most in a year. You have to go all the way back since Franklin Delano Roosevelt to find a president who signed more executive orders in a year than Donald Trump has already signed this time around. And remember, John Berman, we still have 2 months to go in this year, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if he signs even more.
Yeah, seems to be saying, Congress, you don't want to do something?
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Harriet, thank you very much.
Yeah, so this is not going well for Democrats at all. In fact, this is it's pretty much backfiring in every single way possible for these Democrats, and it's not going great for them. So that it's crazy. And here's the thing that we have here as well. It's not just the mere fact that they're failing at the government shutdown and this is going to be their issue. The other issue that they're going to have here is that as we see these radical leftists, these violent people going out and harming others, etc., shooting at people, this is not going to look good on the Democratic Party because everybody knows that the Republicans have constantly been saying that the Democrats are the violent ones, Democrats are the dangerous ones, and the Democrats are not really finding a way to refute that. They're not saying that that's not what's happening. So again, and when you see it time and time again, where you see the leftists constantly go out and attack people, normal everyday people that are just going about their day, it's like I'm seeing constant attacks, but it seems like the left are only doing it, and even though like the broad time of the news, I've been seeing like the Democrat named Jay Jones go out and advocate for the death of somebody's family. So it's not going to go well for Democrats at all in any regard. They're losing on every front at this point in time, and it's just not good. And we have this here to where Trump now is looking to freeze $11 billion from blue states for not allowing the government to run. So it is another huge loss for the Democrats.
Government shutdown is now the third longest in history. President Trump is turning to blue states to slash federal spending. The president's team announcing plans to freeze over $11 billion in projects for the Army Corps of Engineers in states largely run by Democratic governors. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza has more from New York City this morning. Hey there, Marcus. The White House is putting the blame squarely on Democrats for this funding freeze. What's the latest?
Hey, Anna, good morning. Yeah, and excuse the construction noise, literally feet from me. Here it is, New York City, after all. But this domino effect from the government shutdown continues to play out across the country, this time in the form of denying that money for these projects in several blue states. Russell Vought put out a tweet on X actually announcing this, and we'll see how much credibility this is going to have going forward here, saying, quote, the Democrat shutdown has drained the Army Corps of Engineers' ability to manage billions of dollars in projects. The Corps will immediately be pausing more than $11 billion in lower priority projects and considering them for cancellation. So New York alone, Anna, faces some $7 billion of projects being on that chopping block here, and it's something that it's not happening just in this particular state here, but in other states as well. Massachusetts also facing cuts as well because of this announcement here and effects of that government shutdown, and that includes $600 million in bridge projects as well for them. So it's reaching across multiple states and multiple cities that rely on this money here. The White House says this is temporary, but they haven't ruled out a formal cancellation on any of these projects either, Anna.
Gosh, and that noise behind you, it's 7 o'clock in Manhattan, and you can hear a jackhammer or whatever that is, city that never sleeps. Marcus, the White House is linking this to the shutdown, but some say there's more politics at play here.
Yeah, and I think that politics are at play right now at the heart of everything that is going on here. They're saying this is basically a pressure tactic at this point right now. Democrats are saying this, trying to get things the way Republicans want to get them done, saying the White House is using infrastructure dollars to target blue states during a funding stalemate. Legal experts note that while Congress controls appropriations, the executive branch can basically delay this. So the timing comes just one day after a federal judge blocked planned government employee layoffs, Anna. So we're getting the vibe here that this is a bit of a tit for tat, and that because of one thing gets shut down, that perhaps the administration tries to find another route to either make their point or to try to get the shutdown to end. But you can just see that it's going back and forth right now between both parties.
Yeah, and so what we have with there is a simple matter of just insanity in every single regard, right? Where we have it to where these people are not doing well, because of course the Democrats are going to say, "Oh, well, you can't be doing this because it's bad." It's like, well, open the government and won't have a problem with this. Trump won't have to do this. But Trump levies all the power here, and the Democrats, as I said before, they're losing on every single facet of possible. They don't have very many avenues left, and if they're going to be catering to the no kings far leftist groups, they're going to sadly realize that things will be catastrophic. Now, the only W, and it's not really W for the current day for the old school Democrats, is that Domney or whatever Zohan is going to potentially win New York City, but that's going to be a huge backfire for the Democrats as well, because once he wins and he brings New York City to the ground, that will eventually also massively hurt the Democrats, and that city will fall down within 3 to 6 months at time when he becomes a mayor, and it's going to look bad on the Democrats. So there's this a ticking time bomb waiting to happen here, and the Democrats have nowhere to go, and the Democrats need to start facing reality, start open the government. Otherwise, it's going to be even worse, and the Republicans are most likely going to sweep the midterms because the Democrats are too stupid to get away from the insanity. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.